All right. See a lot of videos on YouTube of vintage fans, vintage heaters, other vintage appliances, but I'm gonna do kind of a diverse video tonight. That is a video of a vintage 14.4 volt circular saw. I got this, Skil drill. The saw is a Skil brand and this drill is a Skil brand, but be honest with you, the drill doesn't really enthuse me as much as the saw. And it has a Skil bag, and I bought this as a special back in, I'm going to say 2002 for around $90 to $100, and it comes with this charger, and also came with a 14.4 battery, and I actually ended up, at the time investing in an extra battery, so I would have enough charge to, charge, and these are the old NiCad batteries, but that's how this set was sold. You got the bag to go with it, and you got a drill, and you got your circular saw. And the circular saw is going to be the star of this video. Here's a drill. Information. Circular saw. Give y'all a look around it. There's where your battery goes, and got your guide, and has the wing knob to adjust the bevel of the guide, which is typical of circular saws. And Skil saw logo, hence Skil saw, right? 14.4 volt specification. You got your charger, and here's one of the batteries, and throughout the years I largely use that circular saw. I used it to cut out some studs to make a walkway in my attic, and tried using it to shape out old plexiglass, like a clicker top material that I got from Seal Tech whenever I used to work at Seal Tech. But I mean, the job of got shorted out because batteries didn't hold charge long enough, and throughout the years, when I use a drill all the time, but I use a saw kind of here and there after my biggest jobs with it. And after a time, these batteries got to where they didn't hold charge so I actually invested in another set of batteries, and I know one of them, like, at least one of them still semi, holds a charge. And because I sampled out the drill not so long ago, the drill still works. And gonna tell you all a story. I used to work at Walmart back from 1998 to 2000, and I largely, did like, cold 50 work, which was pushing shopping carts, and also, helped customers lift heavy things like, furniture. And then, here and there, they would have me, run the cash register sometimes, and I got the opportunity to cover, the hardware department some a time or two. One day when I was in, hardware, I noticed a package, a Black & Decker package that came with, a cordless, drill and a cordless circular saw. And I was intrigued, and I thought to myself, how neat a circular saw where you wouldn't have to deal with a long, cumbersome cord. And so when the time came, I invested in, a cordless circular saw myself. And nowadays I don't, find use for a circular saw, because I'm kind of like, why in the hell, as little sawing as I do, use a circular saw for whenever I, saw things, on, these elongated occasions only, and I don't saw anything over about that wide. And I'm like, why in the hell would I use a circular saw when, I have a miter saw? And to me, I mean, a miter saw is more user friendly than to have to, and it cuts more even than, the circular saw. Plus you gotta clamp down the stud, and it saves headache just to use my miter saw for the wee amount, I have to do. Let's say if there were ever come a time where I decided, a circular saw would be viable. Could I just preserve this saw and maybe buy a lithium compatible battery? Well, it looks like I can. Looks like, there's replacement batteries sold on, Amazon. But here's the thing. Skil is selling an 18 volt, a saw. Replacement batteries come for around, approximately $50, and you can buy like, a Skil saw for brand new, 18 volt Skil branded saw for, around $60. So it would like, cost almost as much to like, invest in a replacement battery than it would just like, a new saw. But I'll go ahead and hang on to this one. Maybe makes for a good memorable souvenir. and you never know in this life. Tried, well, using the battery charger to, charge up one of these batteries. Well, the battery that I know that still, like, half-ass works, and that's how the charging, fitting goes on. And when I had this plugged in, I mean, the last times I've used this charger is this cord box gets very warm. And when I tried charging the battery last night, I mean, it got very warm, and I was afraid to keep it plugged in any longer. And the battery that I charge may have a little charge in it. If it does have some charge, I want to see if it will fire up the circular saw. And maybe I can get a small, like, circular saw parity going. And so I'm going to go ahead and plug in, the battery that I charged. It wasn't on charge for long because, I mean, it put me at fright. But we'll go ahead and see if it holds up for at least a few seconds. I just tried out both batteries, and circular saw is not firing up. So either this saw was compromised by me, well, by the battery being left in it for so long. I mean, last night I had to pry it out with a flat-headed screwdriver. Lesson learned. If you have a cordless tool that's going to be in storage for, an ample time, don't leave your battery plugged in it. But it may be either, I mean, the circular saw is compromised, or the battery will, I mean, both of them may be, jeopardized. So at least, I got to, show off, my vintage, like, circular saw. I don't see a lot of videos on YouTube of vintage cordless things like this saw. I do see videos of vintage cordless drills, but not like, battery powered saws. So I might be the first on the web to, have a video of a vintage battery powered circular saw. Yes. Before I log out, here's the information on the saw. Have a good weekend.